Wild and Outdoors. I'm CeLynn.
And I'm Brad.
And we just spent 2 weeks in the Canadian Rockies. We explored Yoho National Park, Glacier National Park, and Banff National Park. So we'll dive into everything we did right after this. So we stayed at Whispering Spruce Campground, which is in Golden. And if you haven't heard of Golden, it's, I think, a really good alternative to staying in Banff, because in Banff it's very crowded, spots fill up very, very fast. Golden is on the western side of the Canadian Rockies, or it's kind of not in the...
Well, you got Banff,
it's west,
and then to the west is
Banff.
Yoho, and then to the west of Yoho is Golden.
Yeah, so it's closest to Yoho National Park, and it's like this cute little mountain town, has a lot of personality.
Yeah.
It's central to Glacier, actually it's central to 6 national parks. Mount Revelstoke, Glacier, Yoho, Banff, Jasper, and...
Does it begin with a K or something?
Kootenai.
Something like that.
I don't know how to pronounce it, but Kootenai or Kootenai. So yeah, it's central to a lot of stuff, and if you were to stay on the interstate, you might not even really know that you're going through Golden, because it just goes by some gas stations and fast food places. But if you get off, there's a really cute downtown. They have the Kicking Horse pedestrian bridge, they have a whole river walk, lots of restaurants. It's really cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was awesome.
So yeah, the campground there, it was an alright campground. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it met our needs.
Yeah,
had laundry.
It was nothing like a resort, but they had laundry and they had a place to park.
It is right near the interstate, so noise was a little loud, but
A
not
little
horrible.
noisy, but I mean, I guess we're used to it because we're on the road full time. If you're somebody who just goes on the weekend and sound bothers you, maybe find something a little further from the highway, but I think being that close to the highway was awesome. It's, you get off the highway and it's literally like 100 feet and you're there. So
it was a nice little base camp.
Once we arrived on Saturday, we pretty much went to bed because it was so late. But
long travel day. Sunday
morning we had a jam-packed day. We got up at 4 a.m. to head over to Emerald Lake for sunrise.
Which was gorgeous.
Yeah, so this lake is, as the name implies, emerald colored, and it is absolutely phenomenal, especially when the sun hits it. And you'll see a lot more color if you can get a top-down view of it, or when the sun's higher up in the sky, which is absolutely gorgeous.
It was really beautiful.
And
when we got there, we were like the 3rd car in the parking lot.
Right.
We were there pretty early, but soon after we arrived, other people started showing up.
Yeah, I want to say it was around 5:30,
somewhere like that.
Yeah.
So we'd recommend getting there early.
And they do have like a hotel or some sort of lodging there. Mm-hmm. They've got is it a restaurant?
I think it's a little restaurant, yeah.
That's right there.
And
it looks kind of like a cabin with like wood and stonework, and it's really pretty sitting right next to the water. Mm-hmm. But after that, we headed over to do the Iceline trail, and that ended up being 14 mile hike.
The trail's 13 miles, but we made it 14 by going off, checking out the waterfall.
Oh, right.
Takakkaw Falls. Not sure how to pronounce that one, but I'll put it down below.
It's a really tall waterfall that's on the other side of the roadway.
Yeah.
And it's basically glacial runoff forming at the top of these mountains, pooling up and then falling down the whole cliff face. So
it was really pretty.
One of those tall, skinny waterfalls, but it was really neat to see.
So that trailhead gets very crowded just because of that waterfall.
Yes.
So if you want to get away from the crowds, get there early and do the Iceline loop, which a lot of people actually do as a backpacking trip. But
oh, really?
Yeah, we saw a ton of backpackers on the way down. Yeah,
right.
There's a lodge that you can stay in, or a backcountry campground, and then you can finish the loop. But it's doable as a day hike. It's just a long day hike.
Yeah, I would say definitely get there by 8 or sooner.
Yeah.
I think we were there at about... No, we were there definitely before 8.
7?
Yeah, maybe get there by 7, because when we got there, the parking lot was probably 90% full already.
Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely get there by 7 if you're planning on finding a parking spot, especially if you want to do a bigger hike around there.
Mm-hmm. But it was a really unique hike. It was cool.
Yeah, there's a little bit of switchbacks at the beginning. You're still under tree coverage, and then eventually break out, and it's just kind of like a rock field, some more mountains popping up higher behind you. You can start to see the glacier, and you end up passing 2 lakes. I believe, on this loop.
I think there's
Maybe
two
three?
that you go close to.
Yeah.
Yeah, which
And-
are crazy colored.
Yeah, they're very blue as well, bluish green.
Yeah.
Absolutely spectacular.
I'm not sure if it was the weather or just our timing being earlier in the day, but like we passed a handful of people.
Not very many.
Yeah. It was so nice. It was so quiet, and it was a very unique trail. It kind of felt like you were on the moon. Like there was just like there's no like trees or anything. It's just like gravel, dirt, rocks as far as you can see. And yeah, glaciers all around you. You're looking out at the extended view, there's glaciers all out there. Really cool.
And it's cool to see it all melting and then funneling down into these streams, feeding into the lakes as well.
Yeah, all the little waterfalls. And
Then there's not like really a summit, but it's like a point that you can go up to.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it is a summit. There's definitely bigger mountains around, like Vice President and President.
Yeah, it was I think it's called the Iceline Loop Summit, or Iceline Trail Summit.
Yeah.
Worth it. Definitely go up there.
Yeah, it's, I don't know, a couple 100 feet off the
not
trail.
bad.
Or like away from the main trail, just a little out and back to go to the peak of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get a pretty expansive view. Again, you get to look back at the taller mountains behind you, the glacier. If you look down to your left, it kind of looks like a meadowy area.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can start to see the tree line again, and then it goes further down. All in all, good hike. Do have to be mindful of bears. They said there was a lot of bear sightings. We didn't see any, black bear and grizzly. So make sure that you do have bear spray with you if you're going to do this hike.
And don't put it in the bottom of your bag. Have it accessible.
Yeah, you're supposed to have it like on your hip or somewhere you can quickly just grab
Yeah.
without having to take a backpack off.
Yeah, it was a beautiful trail. The way out was a little bit of a slog. It's pretty, but once you're that many miles in, it was just very gradual along the river for a very long time.
Yeah,
But-
and unfortunately for me, probably like 20 minutes on the way down, my knee started to bother me out of nowhere. I had never had knee problems before, and there was no pop, there was no snap, there was no twisting. It just started to hurt out of the blue on the outside of my right knee, and I ended up looking it up. It sounds like it might be IT band syndrome. So that
Hit
was
the tipping point.
pretty limiting. I had to like walk stiff-legged down the whole way because if you've ever had IT band syndrome, it is not fun when you're descending. And I'm still recovering from that 3 weeks later.
Yeah.
2.5 weeks later.
But we've been doing a lot of long mileage days, so I think it is just a little bit of overuse. We have been slowly ramping it up, but we've been doing a lot of, we covered almost 50 miles of trails while we were in the Canadian Rockies. Was hoping to do a little more, but this was our first day there, so kind of scaled that back a little bit, but still saw a lot of cool stuff. When we got back to the parking lot, chaos.
Yes.
Zoo. Like it was 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Something like that, but it was a madhouse.
I mean, people just like lined up and like blocking all the cars in, waiting for parking spots. People just walking everywhere, just like shoulder to shoulder to see any view of the waterfall. It was nuts.
Parked on the edge of the road where there is no parking.
Yeah, so definitely if you want to check out these sites, just go there early and just avoid all that. So the next day, we wanted to do something a little more low-key, just especially because of Brad's knee, just not hiking, kind of take it easy. So we decided to do a little like lake drive, which was along the Icefields Parkway, which is one of the most like beautiful roads in North America, so definitely check it out. And we decided to first hit up Bow Lake, which just all the lakes up there are just incredibly colored. It's so pretty.
So gorgeous.
So there's like multiple spots you can pull over, parking lots along the lake, and just kind of stop there. There was plenty of room. We went in the afternoon after work, so it was a little later in the day, and checked out the views from there. And then we kept driving, went all the way to the Waterfowl lakes, which were also gorgeous, blue, very pretty. And then we backtracked a little bit to Peyto Lake, which is a more popular one. It does require a little hike to get there. I think maybe a mile.
I think it's definitely less than a mile.
Less than a mile?
I mean, maybe out
It wasn't
and back.
much. It's steep. It is steep. They do have like handicap parking up top.
It is a walkway. It's a paved walkway.
Yeah, it's just a steep walkway. And so we went out there, and there's like this big platform and gorgeous overlook of this lake, and just like neon blue. It was so cool.
Right.
But this platform was packed with people.
Yeah.
Like really, really packed.
Human sardines.
Yeah, it was one of those things where you're like leaning way over the railing trying to get a picture without anyone in it.
And there was people that went down the platform and went off trail and were blocking everybody on the platform.
Yeah.
It was just chaos.
It was tough. So you couldn't really get pictures without people because there was people below. So we were like, okay, this is like really gorgeous. It was worth stopping here, but we're gonna explore a little bit more, just see if we could find a view with a little less people. And that would be our one tip if you're visiting national parks, is to just
venture a little further.
Wander a little farther, because we went a quarter mile.
If you are on the platform and you turn around like you're about to exit, just stay to the right and just continue to hang right on those trails. It's maybe
a quarter mile.
Eighth of a mile?
Oh yeah, it wasn't much at all.
Maybe a quarter mile.
Yeah, it just wanders through the woods on these trails, and then you pop out, and we were the only ones at this view. And it was even better because there wasn't a platform. There was just these rocks, and there was this one rock that was
all
super
natural.
cool that you could just walk out on, and it was like overhanging in front of the view.
And the funny part was, standing there, you could look back and see everybody on the platform
the
trying to crowd around, and you're just in this open rock area all by yourself, getting probably a better view than what you would get from the platform.
Oh yeah, it was 10 out of 10, and we stayed there for 20 minutes, if not more. And then a few other people showed up. Three
backpackers showed up right as we were leaving.
But just goes to show, wandering a little, getting those extra steps in is so worth it, because it was just a totally different experience, and it was just so much more enjoyable. And get all the pictures and videos you want. We even took time to balance the camera and phone to get some pictures of both of us together, and it was a really nice spot.
For sure.
So a couple recommendations for where to eat downtown in Golden. There's actually quite a few options for being a small town, which is cool.
Yeah, it was pretty astounding how many.
They have outdoor seating in a lot of these areas, which is nice. We went to Reposados for Mexican, and we got some tacos and a burrito bowl. All very yummy.
Very good.
We also went to Rock Water, which I got some poutine, which was very good. When you're in Canada, you gotta get poutine.
Yeah.
And a burger, and you got
I got a lobster roll,
Or no, you got lobster roll. And then ice cream. We found this ice cream shop.
Yeah, so it's actually a movie theater.
Yeah, Kicking Horse Movies, I think.
Yep.
Cinema.
And at the little counter there where they sell the candy, they've got slushies, ice cream, milkshakes, and my goodness, being lactose intolerant, I don't often have ice cream, but I was like, all right.
Ice cream is Brad's favorite food, by the way.
Yeah, if you knew me before I found out I was lactose intolerant, I probably went through 2 jugs of ice cream a week because I absolutely love it. Yeah, having not been on it for a while, that ice cream was so thick and creamy and delicious.
Really good ice cream.
It was real Canadian cream, they said.
Yeah.
So it was just so good.
We both got some waffle cones dipped in chocolate.
Delicious. We had to go back a couple times.
Yeah, we went back a second time after the first time, because we were like, that was pretty good. I got a milkshake the second time. That was still really good.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for ice cream, it's a good little spot.
And there's tons of other little ice cream shops around if you just plug it into Google. Yeah. That's just the one we happen to stop at.
Yeah. We wanted to check out, obviously, the 2 most famous lakes in the Banff area, Lake Moraine and Lake Louise. One way to do that is to get a shuttle ticket to either of them, and then you can take a transfer shuttle to whichever one you didn't arrive at first, and then back to your car. And you can do that through Parks Canada. The only downside is tickets can be really hard to get. So we did the online lottery type thing.
48 hours before.
Yeah, 48
so you can book
hours.
it way in advance, or I believe they reserve some that they release 48 hours ahead of time at 8 a.m.
Yeah, I think it's 60% of the tickets or something. So got super lucky, got some tickets for Wednesday to go start at Lake Moraine, and I think choose whatever one you want to see the most.
Yes.
Because both are going to end up very crowded.
Yes.
So really just choose the one that you were like, that's the one I'm dying to see. For us, that was Moraine. We also wanted to do a hike from the shore there, Sentinel Pass. So we really wanted to start our day there, and then we were like, if we have time, we'll head over to Louise, check that out, and then head back home.
But just back to how to get there. So that's through Parks Canada. What was the cost of the tickets? Were they $12
Don't remember.
a person?
It was pretty cheap.
I think it was really affordable.
Yeah.
But if those book out, you can do a private shuttle company, but those are going to be
very expensive.
Yeah, I think for 2 people it was going to be like $150.
Yeah. So Lake Moraine is totally inaccessible for personal vehicles. You have to go through a shuttle company or the Parks Canada shuttle. Or the third option that we had looked into is you can bike it. So if you have like an e-bike, you can park at Louise or another nearby parking lot.
Incredibly fast.
Yeah, so personal vehicles are able to park at Louise, but like he said, it fills up, I read, like before 5-6 a.m. So if you're planning on doing that, just get there extremely early.
Right.
And so our backup plan was, if we didn't get a shuttle ticket, we were going to park at Louise, just get up, crack of dawn one day, get to Louise, check that out, take our e-bikes out, bike to Moraine. The only downside is that
it's a long road.
It's a long road, and it's very narrow.
And there's a lot of big shuttle buses coming through, so I'm glad we didn't do it, because we looked at each other on the way back, and we both said, like, yes, we probably wouldn't have felt comfortable, and we normally feel comfortable doing things that most people don't feel comfortable with.
Yeah.
We did see, I think, one biker, and with the amount of shuttle buses that are coming through nonstop, I wouldn't recommend it, but if it's your only way to do it and you feel comfortable with that, being on a narrow road and big vehicles, you know, all the power to you.
Yeah.
Just keep it in mind.
But yeah, we lucked out. We got the, I think, 7 to 8 a.m. shuttle.
Yep.
We got there around 7:30. We didn't take off till like 7:45. And it was a bit of a ride to get to Moraine.
It was like 20 minutes or more.
Yeah. And then once we got there, we just kind of booked it up to what they call the rock pile and checked out the view from there as the sun was rising. And that lake is just absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
And I think it was really worth going to see that first thing in the morning, because it was before people were like out on canoes and before there were ripples in the water from wind, and it was just like still as glass and so pretty. And then after taking in the view there, we went to Sentinel Pass.
Yep. What was that, like an 11-ish mile day?
It was 7.5.
7.5? Wow, I was way off that one. Okay. Yeah, so that one's pretty interesting. There's a couple switchbacks at the beginning. You're just, you know, in the trees. On the way up, you'll be able to look back over Moraine Lake. You're not going to be able to see the full thing, though.
Yeah, just
if you want to see the full thing, go to the rock pile. But yeah, on the way up, it was neat. And you start to move away from that lake, and it opens up into like this valley or this gully, and
I think they call it the Valley of Larches, because there's a bunch of larches in there. And in the fall, I've heard this hike is gorgeous because they all turn yellow. But a little early for that right now.
Start to go up, and they have a little pond, I guess I call it, and you're kind of in this bowl, and you have to get up to this little bit of a saddle, and you can look out the other side, you know, the whole mountain range. But we were working our way up, I don't know if you call it the shelf, but like the last switchback to get to that saddle. And then all of a sudden these really dark clouds started rolling in, and it's very exposed at this point. And we were maybe 1/8 of a mile from the top, and all of a sudden we heard thunder. Like
loud thunder.
Very loud. When you're exposed like that, you don't want to be on rock. You don't want to be exposed. You don't want to be at a high point.
Yeah.
We were at a high point, we were on rock, and we were exposed. We decided that, you know, it was probably best to turn around.
We still got like a gorgeous view from where we were at. Looking back over towards Moraine, you have all these peaks that are behind the lake.
We started working our way down.
Started raining, hailing a little bit.
Started raining, tiny bit of hail. We got down off that wall, continued to hear the thunderstorm, and then it looked like it was actually coming over the mountains at us.
There were some like cracks of thunder that like made me jump because they were very close.
So we
saw it streak across the sky.
We picked up the pace, and on the way down, it looked like it came from behind us, but also wrapped around and started coming in front of us. And I saw a streak of lightning hit the mountains that would have been behind us if we were still going up to the saddle. And that's when I was like, yeah, we need to get down into the tree-covered area.
So we were jogging, we were boogieing.
Yeah. And then we actually ran into a couple from Texas.
Yeah.
They were really fun to talk to.
We talked to them the whole way down.
Yeah.
They were awesome. They're just very adventurous. I
think they had just retired, or they were about to retire.
Hoping to retire next year, I think.
Yeah.
But they're on this like really cool national park trip, and they were heading to like Washington State after that, and they were really cool. And then it basically rained the whole hike down.
Yeah. So it was fun to have another couple to talk to and just chat with, because it made the time go by so much faster.
Yeah. So sopping wet, we hopped on the shuttle and decided to head over to Louise. So we did that transfer shuttle over. Didn't take too long.
No.
got to Louise and
sun came out.
Sun came out, so that was really nice because it really made the color of the water stand out even more.
Yeah.
And another just, you know, gorgeous lake. That one, again, just keep walking. You'll get away from the people to get some pictures. But that one was certainly more crowded than Moraine.
It was also later in the day too.
It was later in the day. I think what happened is I think Louise was always like the lake everyone always wanted to see.
Right.
And then I think people started to like pick up on like Moraine's really pretty too, and then that one's like picking up speed, but it's not quite where Louise is. I think Louise is still like the top sought after lake.
And I think Louise is definitely the busiest because there is public parking there. Mm-hmm. So that's one way people can get to it, where Moraine you can't. And then also they have a massive hotel there.
Yeah.
So not only are you getting people from just the shuttles like Moraine, you're also getting people that can park there themselves and go see it, and the people that are staying at the hotel that are probably out enjoying the site.
And I know there are some really incredible hikes at Louise. We did not end up doing them just because at that point it was later in the day, and
like the beehives?
Yeah, so there's like Little Beehive, Big Beehive. They go up to the Lake Agnes Tea House, which I've heard is very cool, where you can get something to drink, maybe a little snack. So there's plenty to do at Louise, and if that's something I would love to do if we have more time to go back one day, is check out Little Beehive, Big Beehive, and overlook the lake. But for us, we had seen Peyto Lake from above, so we thought it might be kind of a similar view, so we decided to go for Moraine and Sentinel Pass instead. And
after Sentinel Pass, my knee was killing me again. So.
Yeah, so we were kind of like, we're done for the day.
Yeah. So another day after work, we decided to do some whitewater rafting, and it was called
Glacier Raft Company.
And the great part about staying in Golden at the campground we were at is literally 5 minutes away is the rafting company. So
it's like right across the road. You just have to like go across the interstate.
Yeah. So accessibility, perfect.
Yeah.
Guides were super funny. Who was it that we had? Nick?
Yeah.
That dude was a riot.
Yeah, he was great.
Is he from the UK?
He made a Bernie Sanders joke, and we were the only ones that laughed because we were the only ones from the East Coast.
From New England.
But it was just spot on.
Yeah. Whitewater rafting. So it's pretty simple if you've never done it before. You kind of show up, they give you the rundown, they give you your gear. At this particular place, they do pretty much require that you wear a wetsuit. They provide that. It's all included for the cost.
So the tour is on the Kicking Horse River, which doesn't get above, what'd they say? Like 45 degrees.
Yeah, yeah.
It was cold. Like take your breath away cold. So wetsuit was like totally necessary in my opinion.
Yeah, so the wetsuit is basically like overalls, and then they give you a wetsuit jacket that's a long sleeve if you want it. And then if you want even more above that, you can put on this
splash jacket.
Yeah, blue splash jacket, or you could wear that instead of the upper body wetsuit portion.
And they give you little booties.
Yep, yeah, booties too. So if your feet get cold like mine, right on.
And then helmet and life jacket.
Yep, helmet, life jacket, paddle, everything you need, all included.
So they do full day tours, and then they do a few different half day tours. We did the 3:30.
Yep. So it's about an hour of float time, and you get on a bus. They shuttle you up maybe 20 minutes where they load the rafts. You hop in. It's about a half hour of rafting down. Then you stop for a little bit, and after your little stop for like a 10-minute break, you hop back in, and yeah, you finish out the rest of the day whitewater rafting. The one that we did, I think there was 2 class 4 rapids, and I believe they're right at the start. So you jump right into the action, which is great.
I was very nervous because the only time I had gone when I was like 7 or 8, and a bunch of people fell out of the boat, and this was in New York, so I was like traumatized. I was like, I am never doing that again. So doing this, I was extremely nervous, and then they were like, oh yeah, we start right off on the only class 4 rapids, and then I was like, great, that's awesome. But it was a lot of fun, and I was more nervous than I should have been because it was a blast, and I would definitely sign up for like the full day tour next time, but baby steps.
Yeah, and if you are nervous, sit towards the back of the boat. It pretty much stays in contact with the water the whole time. If you're in the front of the boat, you're going to be like riding a bull. It's just going to be up and down and splashing. You'll get way more wet in the front, but it's, for me who's like an adrenaline junkie, I find it a lot more exhilarating being in the front.
Yeah.
The back is very calm. You can hear your guide a lot better when he says like hold on or get in the boat. So you don't miss the instructions. You pretty much guaranteed to not fall out.
Yeah. And then after they give you a beer.
Yeah, so
photos.
when you here at this company, they actually have a professional photographer that takes photos. He's flying a drone overhead, especially right at the end, so keep on the lookout for them. And then you hop back on the bus. It's maybe a 10-minute ride back.
Yep.
You go over some of the photos and videos. They give you a beer, and
sit by the fire. It was a fun afternoon. I would highly recommend it, and yeah, their crew was awesome. So another day after work, we didn't really feel like doing something super active, so we decided to take a drive, and we decided to head up to Mount 7, which is in Golden, and it's known for paragliding. It has this big platform up top, and a lot of people just run and jump off that and go paragliding. Our raft guide told us this fun story about a guy who jumped off of it with no intention of being in the air super long, and I think he ended up being in the air for 28 hours and flew all the way to Montana.
Yeah.
And then had trouble getting back over the border because he didn't have a passport, because he didn't know he was going to end up in Montana. Gorgeous views from this mountain. You're just basically overlooking all of Golden.
Yeah, it is quite a drive up. It is a dirt road, so it's a little bumpy. It's not bad. You should be able to get up with any vehicle.
And we may have gotten a flat tire from driving up there.
Yeah, we might have, because we got back and parked at the campground, and the next morning, Camp Post was knocking on our door saying you got a flat, and it was flat. We were sitting on the rim.
Yeah. So we think it was like a slow leak, because we didn't notice it but when we got home, and then next morning flat. But
and there was no screw or nail or anything in it. It was just a cut. So we don't know if we drove over a sharp rock or something.
Yeah. So just be careful. Check your tires. But it was still a really pretty drive. First full weekend there, we decided. So this was actually Saturday that we did this, because it was kind of rainy, so we didn't really know what else to do. So we just kind of hung out. That was our first trip to the ice cream place. And then Sunday was questionable weather-wise, so we wanted to do this big hike. I had this one on my list for a long time, and for several weeks leading up to our visit here, it was actually closed because of grizzly bears.
What was the name of it?
So it's called Smutwood Peak, and it was one that, like, it was on my bucket list. It looked so cool, and I was like, we have to do this one hike when we're here. So it was 2 hours, 40 minutes from Golden. So basically you go all the way to Banff, and then you go south to this provincial park. And that whole area, like, if I had more time, I would spend less time in the national parks and more time in the provincial parks, because it was gorgeous, and it was so different from everything around it. Just the peaks themselves just look so different. Everything's more like jagged, rugged, light gray colored. It was so neat. This one's right by two other hikes that I had on my list, but we just didn't have time to do all of them, so we chose this one. But two shorter ones that are there are Little Luge Head, I think, and Tent Ridge. And Tent Ridge is a very popular one where you're kind of coming up this ridge line, and you can get really cool photos looking back down at these lakes. Would highly recommend checking out that area. That one was definitely more popular than the hike that we did, because most of the cars we were following and had behind us were heading up to do those too. Right. But they're all kind of on the same road.
And still recommend you get there early, because the parking lot that we needed to get to, I want to say we got there around 9.
Yeah.
And the parking area is small. That was taken up, so people were parking on the side of the little like driveway to get to the parking lot.
Yeah.
And then when we finished the hike, they were all along the main road.
So the bear warning lifted like right before we got here, but then the whole provincial park itself was under a bear warning, so it was just like, be cautious. I think I don't remember what kind of berry it is, but they have like an overproduction of this certain kind of berry this year. So basically all the bears are kind of out and eating these berries, and so they're just having a lot of run-ins with people because they're munching away and don't hear people approaching. So definitely have bear spray, make noise, talk to yourself if you're alone, try to
if you are alone, maybe hike
group
with another group or another hiker. We heard a statistic that there's never been a bear attack on a group of 4 or more.
Yeah.
So, power in numbers.
Yeah. And the first section of the trail, like, I could totally see how you could spook a bear in there.
Yes.
Lots of small pine trees, so you can't really see any more than a couple feet off of the trail, because it's just lots
dense.
of shrubbery. And I was joking, I made a reel about this trail, and I was like, it's flat until it's not.
Yeah.
And I'll let you explain.
Yeah, I think it was like 3 miles of pretty flat. Definitely make sure you have like waterproof shoes, and if not, maybe bring a second pair of dry socks.
Real muddy.
Very, very muddy, because you're just like following along this
marshy
swamp, or maybe marshy.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's like a river that comes through there, and The trail isn't much higher than that, so just be prepared to get wet and very muddy. So yeah, it was like 3 miles in, and then all of a sudden you just start to go straight up.
You approach this wall and you're looking at it and you're like, we gotta go up that, because it's just kind of all around you, and
yeah,
you
so
get to the bottom of it.
People get confused where the trail is. There's actually a trail that stays in the shrubbery and stuff. You get above that, and there's these super, super rough textured rocks.
Yeah.
Was it quartzite?
I don't remember what it was.
I forget what somebody said it was,
Harsh
but
on the
it
hands,
is.
the clothes.
Yeah, it is just
Careful.
super sharp. But that kind of looks back over where you were hiking up. You can kind of see up into like a little bit of a saddle where you got to get to. So you keep hiking up to there, and then all of a sudden you're looking down into this bowl area where there's 2 lakes. And
Gorgeous.
you're looking all around. You can see like a full summit, and then Smutwood summit, and then there is another one.
Mount Smuts is on your
Smuts.
right, and Mount Birdwood is on your left. Mount Birdwood is 10,000 feet tall. So fun fact, that's why it's named Smutwood, is they basically combined those 2 names. That in itself would be a gorgeous hike. If you don't want to go all the way to the top and you want to just go to those lakes are so beautiful, and you're just, in this big bowl, and you can just hike around it on the edge. It's so gorgeous.
Yeah, if you're gonna go up to the lakes, keep walking a little further towards Smutwood. It'll turn from like dirt to more scree type, but you're getting on the back side, so you can look out and see all the other mountain ranges and just all the different features. At a distance you can see other lakes, and it looks like a meadows area or like a marshy area, and you can see all that without having to actually go up the scree to the summit, where it does get pretty technical.
Yeah.
And very windy.
I didn't really read too much about this hike. I just knew I wanted to do it. Didn't realize it turns into basically, a scramble on your hands, feet, like knees.
At the very
very end.
Yeah.
So we did see people with dogs. I don't know if the dogs made it to the very top.
I did see a couple people made it with their dogs up there.
So just be careful, and your dog's probably going to need some help, because it's just very steep, slabby, some areas where you can get a good foothold, lots of scree, so it's slippery.
If you have good traction shoes and you're mindful about your foot and hand placement, you should be okay.
Yeah, but it is not your average walk in the park, so.
Views, totally worth it though.
Yeah, the views are insane. Like, it's just, it looks fake. Like, nothing about it looks real. You're just looking around, you're like, what?
And it's just so cool to see some of the mountain ranges, like the ridge line, because it's like a knife edge. It's like so thin and sharp and pointy, just like all along. It's just absolutely incredible. You can see so far to the other mountain ranges. You can see some of the other glacial lakes because you're at that height. Yeah.
And like,
absolutely worth it.
Like Brad said, once you get onto those like fall summits and stuff, the wind picks up a lot. So just, if you have a hat on, like tighten it. Make sure you have nothing flopping that could just take off. But yeah, it's like it's grueling, steep hill after hill to get all the way to the top, but definitely worth it. If you're a hiking pole person, definitely bring them on this one, because they'll save your knees.
And how long was this one? Wasn't this close to 14?
I think it was 11.
I thought it was more.
Maybe 12.
Okay, well, it's up there in mileage, and the gain
3,000.
Pretty substantial. I think it was over. It was 29. It was right around 3,000. So
yeah, 3,000 something.
Just be prepared. Make sure you got a lot of food, water.
Yeah, just what makes it tough
layers.
is like it's not 3,000 over that mileage. It's 3,000 over the last like 2 miles.
Yeah, we definitely want to go back and explore that area more when we have time.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah.
For parking for here, you do need a pass, which you can buy online. And I think it was like $10 or $15 for a day pass, but you can also get an annual pass if you're going to be there a few times. Just make sure you have it, go online, purchase it. I don't believe you have to print anything out. I think they know because of your license plate. Always do your research when you're traveling, especially in different countries, what the hike is, and do you need a pass to park at the trailhead for it? Because yeah, whether it's a state park, provincial parks, it varies. On Tuesday of our second week, we took the day off, and I feel like in order to see anything without a lot of people, you're going to want to go early morning. So we decided we were going to go check out Wapta Falls, which is also in Yoho National Park. And gorgeous, huge waterfall.
Very, very wide.
Yeah. And it was pretty flat. Like, it's not that. I think the whole thing is like 3 miles out and back. And
couple hundred feet of gain, maybe. Yeah.
If you go all the way down to the bottom of the falls.
Right. But you don't need to go down.
Yeah. And we got there at 6:30, and we were the only one in the parking lot, which was awesome. Yeah. We were there quite early, so the sun was just kind of coming up. And yeah, we made lots of noise. Make sure there's no bears we were going to spook on the way out.
Yeah.
And got there, and there's this dirt mound in front of this waterfall that people go on, and you can take a picture from this other mound behind it, and it's a very cool picture. So I took some of Brad up there, and then I was like, well, I'm gonna go like set up the camera on the tripod and set a timer, and then I'll run all the way out there, which is a ways, and it was very muddy. Set up my phone to take a video. It's like trying to get down the hill.
It is very slippery, very slippery, muddy.
Yeah, just a muddy slope, a steep muddy slope.
Yeah.
My phone fell over, hit me in the butt as I'm like running down. I was like, what is that?
Like 20 feet below it or something.
Yeah, and then my phone's laying in the mud, so I was like, okay, well, I guess I didn't get a video, but that's fine. So I'm like, the camera will take the pictures. So I'm still going for it, and I get all the way over there, and we just got drenched. Like, being on that mound of dirt, you get soaked. So bring a rain jacket.
More so than a shower.
Rain pants. Like, it looks like a nice picture, but it does not come without sacrifice of dry clothing.
The water comes down over the waterfall, and then there's like this mound, so it's hitting that and just spraying everywhere. It's literally raining as you're just standing on this dirt mound.
Yeah.
Even if you're on the back side, on the other side of the waterfall, you're still getting rained on.
Yeah. So I tried so hard. I got all the way over there. I was like, okay, like walk the ridge with me. Now we're gonna like throw our arms up. We did all this stuff, and I'm like, oh, I hope these pictures came out okay. Walk all the way down. We run across the river, get back up this muddy mound.
Slope.
Camera's covered in water. Like, so covered, you're just looking at a blurry blob. And I was like, oh. Yep. So I at least got some nice photos and videos of Brad up there. I'll throw one of us up here. That's real worth the effort, you know? A for effort. And then after that, we went back to the camper, got changed, and headed over. We had a 9 a.m. adventure pass at the Golden Skybridge.
You guys probably know at this point, I am an adrenaline junkie. I like doing more extreme, challenging stuff. So when I was thinking like, oh, we're going to an adventure park, it's probably going to be for kids, maybe not so much for adults, but I was genuinely surprised by how much fun it was.
It was a blast.
And yeah, I mean, they've got 2 sky bridges that go across the canyon.
They're like 425 feet tall, I think, or off the canyon floor, so they're the tallest suspension bridges in all of Canada. So we got the adventure pass, which basically allowed us to do everything once.
So when you get in there, they have what they call the village. They've got, you know, like a gift shop. They've got food that you can get, a food truck. They've got a little axe throwing set up there. They've got like a little playground for kids, which is actually really cute and neat. And then you work your way up to the first sky bridge, and they've got a viewing platform. They've got this like announcer basically on repeat who gives you some of the history and some of the facts. You can go across the sky bridge, and then once you get to the other side, that's where a lot of the other stuff is. And we were recommended to do so, and absolutely agree after the fact, and recommend to you guys as well.
Yeah.
Go to the
high course adventure ropes course.
Yeah, the ropes course, which is up in the trees. That's a lot of fun. They've got 3 regular trails or courses that you can do, and then they have the black course, which is you have to do a pull-up test to show that you can do a pull-up.
A pull-up or chin-up.
Because this one's a lot more challenging.
They got tired of rescuing people, so they just, if you can pull yourself up, you can just prove that you can basically self-rescue yourself, and they don't have to go up and get you. And
right. So 2 of the other courses are like obstacle-like courses. So between each tree, which I'm just going to consider like a checkpoint, there's some sort of obstacle, whether you're going across a wire or going across a wooden beam or a plank bridge, like all these different types of obstacles, and it's really fun. It's a whole self-belay system, so you're not actually belaying, but it's this loop that just goes along this cable the entire way.
Which is really neat because I
Such a great idea.
I used to work, that was my first job working at a ropes course, and like you had to have a guide with every group because you have 2 clips and you have to like make sure like you're clipping everyone from one spot to another, and like that's what I thought it would be, but I didn't know they even had something like this where it's just all self-sufficient, which was so cool because you can go so much faster. You don't have to wait for anyone in your group, you just go as you please.
Yeah,
which is awesome.
Only downside is there's no way to allow somebody to pass you, or if somebody is scared of a particular obstacle, they can't turn around and go back unless everybody else behind them goes back. One of the other courses is just all zip lines, which is
so fun.
Really, really neat.
Yeah.
And the black one is the most challenging one because they're all color coded.
But it was super
ton of fun.
Yeah. And yeah, so once we were up there and doing stuff, the line started forming.
Yeah.
And it does, like, there was little signs on the wooden posts, and it's like, if you're at this point, it's going to take like an hour and a half to get to the front of the line. So it's like, that, it made sense. That's why you'd want to do that, because that's something that people are going to spend the most time doing.
Right.
So definitely do that one first. If you have the adventure pass and you're doing everything, would highly recommend that.
And then after that, you can head down a little bit. There's a viewing platform so you can overlook kind of the valley area. If you're down a little further, that's where the mountain coaster is.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fun.
That one, the line was a little long.
And that was about a half-hour wait. If you got a different tier pass that didn't include the mountain coaster, but you decide you want to do it, they do have a ticket booth there, so you can pay for it separately. But it was a lot of fun. It can seat 2 people. So if you're going with, children and stuff, you can put them in front of you. That way you can still run the brake as needed.
It's the longest and fastest mountain coaster in Canada.
Oh, fun fact. I didn't know that. And then after that, you hike back up a little bit, and you can do the really big zip line.
Yeah, that goes across the whole valley.
Zip line. Yeah, it goes across the canyon, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah, there's 4 people at a time, so if you have a group of 4, you can all go. And yeah, it was a blast. It was super cool.
And I think that was the first time we actually met somebody from New Hampshire on our 10 months of being on the road.
Yeah, we were like buckling in, and the guy was like, "So where are you guys from?" We're like, "New Hampshire," and the people behind us were like, "What? We're from New Hampshire."
Yeah.
Yeah, and then once we ziplined across, we did some axe throwing.
Yep.
Which was fun. And
so the axe throwing, it's 4
stalls.
Yeah, stalls, and they allow you to do, I think, like 15 throws, just so people can keep rotating. Yeah. So you don't get it for a set period of time. It's everybody has to throw it together, so somebody's got to count down, and you get 15 throws. Yeah. So it's still pretty neat, especially if you've never tried it before.
And got some food.
Yeah.
Got a nice burger. Burger was pretty good. It was a smash burger. And then I think that's all. That was everything we did, but...
I mean, it doesn't sound like a whole lot, but with the Adventure Pass, they do recommend 3 to 4 hours, and we did spend 4 hours there.
Yeah, and it could have kept going. Like, we didn't even do the second Skybridge, actually.
Right, because we ziplined across instead of taking the Skybridge across.
Yeah, so because we were also right next to Glacier National Park, not the one in Montana, but the one in the Canadian Rockies, we wanted to check that out as well. We wanted to do the Hermit Trail, but with Brad's knee, the Hermit Trail is really, really steep. It's like...
Sorry.
No, I mean, it was, I didn't even have the energy to do it, honestly, after work that day. It was, what, like 3 miles with like 2,000 feet of gain.
Oh, yeah, that one?
Yeah, it was just straight up. I mean, you literally pull off the interstate park and then hike to the top of the mountain. That would be like the #1 recommendation from everything that I read to do in Glacier National Park if you have the time. Sounds brutal, but apparently there's mountain goats up there, and it's just gorgeous views of all the surrounding peaks. So instead, we decided to drive a little further, and we went to Marion Lake Lookout via Abbott Ridge Trail. And the Abbott Ridge Trail is like 10 miles in total, I think. So we just did part of it up to this lookout, and that was really pretty. And there's a bunch of like historical signs on the way up about mountaineers that had been there in like the, I don't know, early 1900s, and ice climbers, and yeah, it was really pretty. Again, it's like every part of the Canadian Rockies looks very different.
Very different, yeah. You have a tiny little outlook. You could probably only fit a couple people there looking out at the same time. But
we did it in the evening. We were the only ones there, which was nice.
Yeah. After all that good stuff, we had Thursday. We took a day off to do a first, And
imagine that, something we haven't done before.
Yeah, people were excited when we were sharing about it on Instagram.
Something that we hadn't done before. They were like, you do everything. We have a lot of hobbies, so it was kind of funny.
Yeah, so before even going into Canada, like a couple weeks prior, we had no idea what a Via Ferrata was.
Yeah.
And I had to look it up. And for anybody who doesn't know what a Via Ferrata is, it's basically the Italian word for iron road or iron trail.
Iron path, yeah.
Iron path. And it's a different form of rock climbing while kind of hiking. So unlike traditional rock climbing where you're just going up, this is more like traversing on cliff walls and rocks. So you do have a harness. You've got these little leashes with 2 carabiners. And at different points, you know, like you hike up to the start of it, they have a cable that runs across. You got to clip both of them in. You get to a junction, you got to unclip one, clip it to the other side, follow up with your second carabiner. And it's just an incredibly cool way to experience, like, not mountaineering, but like a blend between rock climbing and hiking.
I think I think the easiest way to experience that kind of exposure, like on a cliffside where you feel safe.
Yes.
If you're scared of heights, this would be a really tough thing to do, so I wouldn't suggest that. But yeah, just like overhanging some really dramatic drop-offs, which was really neat.
And looking again back into the valley and just seeing all the other mountain ranges surrounding you.
So we did it at Mount Norquay, which is in Banff. And yeah, you start with a chairlift ride to the top. That's like a 10-minute ride to this little like bistro, which we ate at after and was delicious.
Yes.
But then yeah, you start hiking up and then clip in once you're a little ways up.
I think they have 5 different
routes.
Yeah, routes that you could do. 3 of them, I believe, kind of go up and like traverse off to the left-hand side, where the other 2 go up towards the summit, and one of those 2 actually does go to the full summit. And that one,
we did the
second highest,
longest.
Yeah, I think it's the Skywalker.
Skyline. Yeah. Ours was like 4.5, 5 hours.
It's like an hour shorter than the longest one.
Yeah.
I think it was a perfect amount of time.
It was nice.
Because there's no bathroom once you start, but there are facilities again. Nobody in our group had to go, so just don't chug water before you go. But do bring some water. You are allowed to have a backpack. You can bring snacks.
We found, we got these like rubber leashes for our phone.
Yeah.
Those are really handy. So they just have a little carabiner that we clipped onto our backpack. And then the little rubber leash is like, if you drop your phone at all, it's not going anywhere.
Exactly.
So that was really nice to have. I would recommend getting that if you're going to do something like this. And they're cheap.
So yeah, they do have like different obstacles depending on which route you do. The one that we had a really big suspension bridge that swayed way more than we expected, which was kind of a lot of fun. They had a wire crossing, so your feet are on one wire and you're grabbing on another wire above you.
A little shaky.
They had a beam that you can go across, and then they also had
the ladder, which was really cool, but also like you just feel very exposed. So this ladder just goes vertical up this cliff, and you basically crawl into the inside of it.
Because they have it offset from the cliff, so you're between the ladder and the cliff.
And you're like climbing up the ladders, you're looking out over the view, and there's like nothing below you. But it was really cool.
And we also got to meet some really cool people here too.
Yeah, our group was kind of small. We were with another group of 3, so it was just 5 of us, 6 including the guide.
So shout out to Rhonda, Corey, and Brett. Hope you had an awesome graduation present.
And our guide was Brandon.
Yeah, our guide was Brandon.
And yeah, it was super fun. Everyone was super friendly, high energy. Yeah, it was a really good day, and we had perfect weather.
Yeah, they were saying it was
it's been a
best
rainy
day he had all season. I think the guide said.
Yeah, it was just bluebird, 50s, 60s. I think it warmed up to maybe low 70s.
Yeah.
But yeah, 10 out of 10 day. It was awesome. And yeah, once we got down to the top of the chairlift, we decided to get a snack or meal at the bistro. If you do the Via Ferrata, you get what, 10% off your meal? Yeah, I got a burger. You also got a burger?
I think I got a chicken sandwich. It was really good.
And I got
that chicken sandwich though, that aioli, it is spicy. Like I can handle some spice, but like I had to scrape some of it off.
Yeah.
It was hot. It was good though.
A mule that was really good.
And they do have some seating right along the windows, so you can look out
beautiful.
over the valley. And if you go on the other side of the entrance, they've got kind of like bar stool seating right in front of the windows as well.
Yeah, the view is incredible. And then, yeah, after we had a meal, we rode the chairlift back down and
called it a day.
A
great day.
It was a really good
Fantastic
day. Yeah,
day.
it was awesome. That was our
wrapped it up.
2 weeks
Friday
in the Rockies.
we packed up the camper and had a 8-hour day. Had to cross the border. That was a little bit of a spectacle.
Yeah, crossing into the U.S. was definitely harder than crossing into Canada.
Yeah, hands down. Crossing into Canada was 5 minutes. Crossing into the United States was an hour. They will have you throw out any uncooked meat.
And peppers was the weird thing.
Cooked is okay. If it's cooked and it's leftovers in a container in your fridge or in your freezer, totally fine. It's uncooked meat is a no-no. Fresh fruit, no-no. Peppers for whatever reason, even if it's frozen and cooked.
We had a mixed bag of frozen veggies to use for like stir fry, and it had some peppers in it, and that was in our freezer, and they took that.
And the other biggest thing is houseplants.
Yeah. So we didn't know in the beginning of the year that we were going to be going into Canada. This was a decision we made far into our travels on the other side of the country from home. I have 5 houseplants. When we crossed into Canada, they were like, you know, you're not really supposed to have them, but like as long as they don't leave the camper, you're fine. The way back into the U.S., they were like, no plants. Doesn't matter. Like they were like, you have to get a Peyto something sanitary certificate from the U.S.
before you leave the United States
to prove that they are from the U.S. before going into Canada. But it's like we didn't have that much time to plan or do any of that, so we didn't have that.
And crossing into Canada, they don't tell you what it's going to take to get back.
Right, so you
think you're fine.
Yeah, so we crossed in, I started doing some research, and I was like, I don't think they're going to let me take my plants back. And shockingly, they let me keep them, but we got reamed for it. So they were basically like, no plants. Do not bring house plants across the border any other time or any time in the future. So.
And again, if you do want to bring them, just look it up. You do got to get this inspection done.
Yeah.
And you should be okay after that. We, again, didn't have a chance to look into it. We don't know if you have to have an appointment and how much of a hassle it is, but...
Yeah. I think she could just see how emotionally attached I was to my plants. And so she was like, this girl's like desperate to keep her plants for whatever reason. So she ended up letting us keep them. She didn't say anything else about them, and I wasn't about to ask. So when they went through the camper.
When they went into our camper, it was very quick. It was less than 5 minutes.
Yeah, I thought they'd be like longer and go through all the cabinets and all the drawers.
They opened stuff up and didn't close everything.
Yeah, they opened up some stuff, but like they were in and out pretty quick. But yeah, we had a great 2 weeks in the Canadian Rockies.
Phenomenal.
It was one of the few places I feel like we dabbled in a little bit, and we were like, wow, there's so much more to see. Yeah. So I think we'll be back one day.
100%.
Yeah. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments and we'll try to answer them. Now we're heading home. It's about 47 hours of driving, so we'll do a little video about that and all the places we're stopping on the way home, but it's pretty much a beeline, so we're not going to do too much. So stay tuned. Bye.